Something cool about living in or near Fargo, North Dakota is its close proximity to the state of Minnesota. Just across the Red River from Fargo, North Dakota, you will find Moorhead, Minnesota. Now, you'll hear this area referred to as the FM area, Fargo Moorhead area, as these two sister cities kind of flow together like one. Of course, there's differences between Fargo, North Dakota and Moorhead, Minnesota. And on today's episode of Living in Fargo, North Dakota, we're gonna hop over to the east side of the Red River and take a look at all things Moorhead, Minnesota. Oy with Remax Legacy Realty, and every day I help people just like you. So whether you are 9 days or 90 days from your move to Fargo, North Dakota and the surrounding areas, if you're coming from out of the country, from another state, or even just from around town, I am here to help make that a smooth transition for you. All of my contact information is listed in the description below. Feel free to text me, email me. We could set up a time for a Zoom call to talk about your move to or around the FM area. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications to be the first to know about all things Fargo, North Dakota, the surrounding areas, and market updates as well. We are gonna hop into my computer now so that we can take a bird's eye view of Moorhead, Minnesota, and all it has to offer.
Okay, so here we are with a bird's eye view of Fargo Moorhead. Moorhead, Minnesota is located in Clay County and is the largest city in northwest Minnesota. It is situated in the Red River Valley and is part of a rich agricultural region that was created from silt deposits left over from when Glacial Lake Agassiz melted approximately 10,000 years ago. The city borders the Red River of the North, which flows northward into Manitoba, Canada, and empties into Lake Winnipeg. The Red River forms the border between Fargo, North Dakota, and Moorhead, Minnesota. So when we take a look at where we are at here, this is Moorhead. If we zoom out a little more, you can see where we are approximately within the states of Minnesota and North Dakota. Fargo here is showing on the very eastern border of the state of North Dakota, and Moorhead is on the very western border of the state of Minnesota. There you can see it a little better. We are in Moorhead and Fargo about a 3.5-hour drive from Winnipeg, which is the city mentioned in Manitoba in Canada, where our Red River flows north. That, again, 3.5 hours is about 2 hours to the border and then another hour and a half to get to Winnipeg. Additionally, proximity to Minneapolis, St. Paul. St. Paul is the capital of the state of Minnesota, and then Minneapolis and St. Paul house, these larger twin cities that have all of our professional teams and a lot of things to see out there. That's another 3.5-hour drive, 3-hour drive. And then we are not too far from the South Dakota border, not too far from the Black Hills out in this direction. So lots to go and see directly from Moorhead. When we zoom in a little more just to look at Moorhead itself, commute times here are not bad throughout the city. So Fargo and Moorhead and West Fargo and Dilworth and even Horace now kind of all flow together like one larger city. Commute times are generally around 15 to 17 minutes, just depending on where you're going. Of course, if you're going from the very northeast point of Moorhead to the very southwest point of Horace, which is down here a little farther, that's going to take you a little longer, but average commute times around Moorhead are going to be about 17 minutes, 15 to 17 minutes around the Fargo Moorhead area. And most of Moorhead residents are likely going to work in Fargo. It's just larger and they have more businesses in general. So if you live in Moorhead, there's a good chance you're going to work on the North Dakota side of the river. So the population in the city of Moorhead it's a growing community. According to the recent U.S. Census demographics, Moorhead has a population of 44,505 residents. Moorhead is part of a metropolitan area that includes, like I said, Dilworth, Fargo, West Fargo, and then Horace as well. But this metropolitan area in general has over 250,000 residents, I believe, once we include that Horace area. So it is a little larger, but when we're looking at the just shy of 45,000 residents in Moorhead, it makes it seem a little smaller. So zooming into Moorhead, we kind of get a look. We've got some main streets going through Moorhead would be Highway 75, which also switches over into A Street, and then we've got Interstate 94 that goes all the way down to the cities and out west into the North Dakota area. And then Highway 10 will take us out into Lakes area. We're also not very far from Lakes area, probably about a 45-minute drive from when you really start getting into that land of 10,000 lakes with Minnesota. So many people who live in Moorhead are going to have lake properties. They have maybe within the family, they've got a lake cabin, or they've got second homes coming out into this Detroit Lakes area around here. That's when we really start seeing the gorgeous lakes of Minnesota pop up. We will do more information on some of those incredible lakes on another time, but today we are focused on Moorhead. So you see how Moorhead flows from Dilworth and then out that way to Lakes Country. Zooming back in, so we'll talk a little bit about the economy. Moorhead has a very agricultural prominent economy. We do a lot of notable corporate and manufacturing distribution industries as well, including American Crystal Sugar. Their corporate headquarters and their sugar beet processing facility is located here. Bush Agricultural Resources, that's of course malt manufacturing, and then Pactiv, it's a container manufacturing company. The unemployment rate is consistently below the national average, and property values are stable. So our economy is doing great, even given the recent events in our country. So local educational institutes are also a large source of employment in Moorhead, with Moorhead Public Schools, Concordia College, and Minnesota State University Moorhead being the top 3 employers in the city. And with that, we'll kind of go into education and where the schools are all located. We are going to start with those higher education. We have 4 institutions in Moorhead for higher learning. That is Concordia College, which is a private liberal arts Christian college. So Concordia College is going to be right here just off of that Highway 75 that turns into A Street. A Street really goes through the center of Moorhead, and so that is flowing from north to south, south to north, whatever it may be. So Concordia College has a nice large campus right along that main street going down north to south. That's A Street. Of course, it's not called Main Street, but it's A Street. And then on the opposite side of that street, we have Minnesota State University of Moorhead, which of course is a public university. So we've got a lot of students that will attend either of those. And then zooming out a little more, so we can see Minnesota State Community and Technical College. That is a 2 to 4 year technical college. And then the last one, the last of the 4 that we have here is right along I-94. And I'm not sure if it's gonna pop up here or not. So let's take a peek. But that is right around this area. We've got Rasmussen College as well. And so Rasmussen University is a 2 to 4 year college. And then the combined student enrollment of all of these colleges is approximately 14,000 students. So you will see in our area, we've got more colleges on the North Dakota side of the river that the summers quiet down a little bit because when college is not in session, these students are not around. Maybe they head back home and then people are heading to the lakes. So it is a little quieter in town in the summer, which is kind of nice. In terms of K through 12 education, it's provided to over 5,000 students by the Moorhead School District. We have multiple elementary schools, which of course would be, where you would go would be determined by where you live. The first one is our most southern, southwest school would be Reinertsen Elementary School, and of course that is K through 4th grade. And again, that is going to be for our homeowners that are living, or renters that are living in the southwest area of Moorhead. So that's Reinertsen Elementary. Then we move down 8th Street. Like I said, it's one of our main streets. And then we get to Ellen Hopkins Elementary. That one's going to be servicing students that are maybe more centrally located on the southern side of Moorhead. Additionally, over here that I see is not necessarily popping up, but there is another school over here which is called Probstfield Elementary. Probstfield is unique. It is still kindergarten through 4th grade, but the students at that school are primarily learning in Spanish for those first elementary years of school. It is a unique program for the city of Moorhead. I don't believe they have it anywhere across the Red River Valley other than Moorhead. And like I said, the students learn primarily in Spanish, and then once they get through 6th grade, actually, in 7th grade, they get put back into the regular population with the students that just are learning primarily in English. And so this is an elective program that you can put your kids in. There's no additional cost. I would say the only downside is that they don't have busing to all the neighborhoods, so you would potentially have to drive your kid to and from school every day, or figure out some type of transportation for them. A lot of the daycares will pick up from the school and bring to the daycare, just depending on where you're going. And then they do have the after-school programs at all the schools, the YMCA, so those are options as well. But the Spanish immersion program is very cool for the students. They are essentially fluent in Spanish by the time they're out of the program, so again through 6th grade. And then that 7th grade year, I hear they kind of lag behind the other students academically with learning things in English. It's obviously an adjustment, but within that next year they pop forward, and a lot of them are 4.0 students, and again then they have both of those languages down, so that is a huge thing for Moorhead School District. So that was Probstfield. Moving down farther to the north, so we're going to 8th Street and then over, and then it comes back to Highway 75 again is the way that we see it. But over here is Robert Asp Elementary, so that's going to be for our students that are on the north side of town, more of the northern side. Of course, some of those southern addresses are still going to be in there, but mostly servicing North Moorhead is that Robert Asp Elementary. And then the last one, so going a little farther east on 94, we are going to find the newest elementary school, which is called Dorothy Dodds Elementary. So that again is at the very eastern border of the city of Moorhead. So that again is K through 4th grade. And then the kids bop over to the Horizon Middle School. Now kids are at Horizon Middle School from 5th through 8th grade, and it is a larger school. They have 2 campuses for that school because it hosts a lot of kids. So they have their East Campus and their West Campus there. After middle school, we go not too far again over to, so Moorhead High School is going to be is our newest school, I should say, in Moorhead. That is brand new. They just had their first year students through there this year, and it is huge and gorgeous, and that is a great campus for Moorhead's students 9th grade through 12th grade. They have attached their sports center, obviously their football field, track, all of these things. It is a pretty impressive building that they put up for the kids there. The district in Moorhead is really known for its high student achievement. Students consistently performing above the national average on the ACTs. And then the school is also well known for its performing arts program and athletic teams known as the Moorhead Spuds. And that is truly the Spuds. Their mascot is a potato, a potato with legs and arms. The Moorhead hockey program has produced multiple NHL hockey players and has a strong support in the community, competing against many larger schools in and around that Minneapolis-St. Paul Twin Cities area. But there are additional school options if you did not want to be a part of the Moorhead public school. There's also Park Christian, which is a private Christian school in Moorhead, providing school for kindergarten through 12th grade. And then St. Joseph's is a Catholic elementary school option. And then of course you could go over to Oak Grove, which is in Fargo, enrolling into some of those private schools on the North Dakota side too is an option. So now that we have gotten through all the schools, I'm going to zoom out again so that we can see where we are. So again, this 75 goes through the north and south, and then Highway 10 goes through the east and west, along with I-94, and of course many other streets going through here. Housing, there is a lot of newer development in the southwest corner of Moorhead, and in the very east side of Moorhead. So down here, back by that, back by that Reinertsen Elementary that we discussed first, we've got Hampton Place, Tessa Terrace, Allison Parkway, which is a little more established, but once you get back in here, we've got a lot of new construction going on, and then a lot as well around that Reinertsen, or just south of Reinertsen Elementary. There are currently 122 homes on the market in Moorhead. If we're looking at it from today's date, there's a wide variety of prices to meet really any budget. Homes currently are ranging from $120,000 to just shy of $1 million. So that's what's listed right now in Moorhead. A lot of those $1 million homes you're going to see in this Tessa Terrace area right along the river. It's a really beautiful area. I will make sure to show you in another video. But the median sales price year to date is $260,000. So you'll find a lot of newer homes and buildable lots, like I said, over here on the southwest. And then again, by that Dorothy Dodd School, kind of over by the middle school that we discussed on the very east side, there's also a lot of development in Horizon Shores. So if you were looking for new construction, those are the areas you're going to want to look. We do have a lot more established housing within the center areas of town, which is going to be comparable to any city that you look at. And then heading north a ways, we also have some more development out there. And I would say way north, there's some new development way out here. So if you kind of wanted to be away and have maybe an acre lot, that would be a good place for you to look. So some kind of tax incentive that the city of Moorhead has for people that are looking to build because they want that development. Brand new homes built in Moorhead are eligible for a 2-year property tax rebate. So the rebate will save a new home buyer thousands of dollars, and they rebate 2 years of property taxes once the home is fully assessed. So you maybe won't get it the first 2 years, maybe it would be year 2 and year 3. They want to make sure to get you the biggest amount of money back on that, so they really do wait till the home is fully assessed. So they're not just assessing on the land. So the rebate will save new home buyers thousands of dollars by rebating for the 2 years. And so as an example, on a $300,000 home, the total value of the rebate may be more than $7,500. So that would be over the span of the new years. And of course, or over the span of the 2 years. And of course, that's an estimate, but it's pretty accurate. You'll get a check back from the city right around the end of the year, and it's kind of like a nice present for you because you kind of forget that you even enrolled in it, that you'd be getting it. Great thing to put towards gifts for that time of year. So, housing, we are done with that. We are going to move on to just the things that you can see and do around Moorhead. One of the highlights in Moorhead that people will actually come to see is the Hjemkomst Center, which is right here. So the Hjemkomst Center is a local museum containing a full-scale replica of a Viking ship which had the same name. The Hjemkomst vessel was built in nearby Hawley, Minnesota. It's about a 20-minute drive from here. And it was built by Robert Asp, who was a Moorhead resident. And it was sailed from Duluth, Minnesota to Oslo, Norway in 1982 by his children after he died. The ship is now permanently housed in the Hjemkomst Center in Moorhead, Minnesota. And then also located on the grounds of the center is the Stave. Somebody's going to correct me on that. Church. So it's a traditional Norwegian style church and serves as a symbol of the Norwegian heritage in the Red River Valley. The church is a full-scale replica, and it is of the Hopperstad Stav. Somebody tell me in the comments. Is it stave or stav? Stave. S-T-A-V-E. But there's one in Vik, Norway. So it's a full-scale replica of that actual church, which is really cool. And I apologize for not knowing how to pronounce it. I probably should have looked that up before I started talking about it. The next cool thing that we are going to discuss is Bluestem Amphitheater. Moorhead has, in my opinion, the most beautiful outdoor amphitheater in the Red River Valley. And this is located in that very southwest corner of Moorhead, Bluestem Center for the Arts. It is about a 3,000 seat amphitheater, and it is outdoors and brings top-notch entertainment. This year alone, they'll host Willie Nelson, Billy Currington, the Bare Naked Ladies, Need to Breathe, and more. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. But it's also home to Trollwood Performing Arts School, and that is a summer theater arts program for students of all ages. The school presents many different forms of performing arts every summer, and the most prominent being an annual Broadway musical, so then you can go out and buy tickets and go watch, and they just do an incredible job. The kids are incredibly talented in that program. So Bluestem, if you're here, you're going to want to find something to go to there every summer because it is a beautiful experience. It backs to the Red River, so you've got the tree-lined river, and it's peaceful back there, and the sunsets are incredible, and it is just the place to be in the summer in Moorhead. So if we're talking about Moorhead, there's something we absolutely cannot miss, and that is the Moorhead Dairy Queen. So that is all the way down this Highway 75 A Street. There we are. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, so Moorhead is actually home to the first Dairy Queen to sell the Dilly Bar. And if you're not familiar with the Dilly Bar, they're those round ice cream bars on a stick that have like a chocolate coating or butterscotch or cherry. They've got a bunch of different flavors now, but they are one of the original Dairy Queen to sell Dilly Bars. The Moorhead Dairy Queen is also one of the only few Dairy Queens operating on a contract signed in 1949 that allows it to feature products not approved by corporate headquarters. An example of that would be their chipper sandwich, vanilla ice cream sandwich between two chocolate chip cookies, and the dipped in chocolate featured items. The city of Moorhead celebrates the reopening of this historic outdoor location on March 1st every year, regardless of the weather. You will always see a line out from each of the windows full of people. Even if it's blizzarding, they're just excited that it's March 1st, Dairy Queen Day. They do close for a few months every year because it gets really cold here. So naturally, people aren't going to be standing outside trying to get ice cream at that time. So yes, Moorhead Dairy Queen, something that is notable and something you will want to see. The last one I want to make sure to talk about would be the fact that for Moorhead's smaller size, we have 3 golf courses. And when I say 3 golf courses, I mean we have 3 18-hole golf courses, large golf courses. The first 2 we're going to talk about are through Moorhead Parks. So then you could get a Moorhead Parks pass and go to both of them. And let me zoom out a little bit here. Village Green Golf Course is the first one that we'll talk about. Again, that's an 18-hole course. That's more on the south side of Moorhead. It is not too far, though, from the Meadows Golf Course, which is going to be closer to Main Avenue, closer to the high school, the middle school, that sort of eastern, northeast area of town. So those are both the Moorhead Parks options. But then our third option is Moorhead Country Club. So if you want to be a country club member, of course they have their restaurant out there and they've got a pool. It's very family friendly and it's gorgeous. It's very wooded. A lot of our golf courses, including Village Green and Meadows, don't have a lot of trees. They still have like ponds and other hazards, you know, sand dunes that you could put your ball into. But the Moorhead Country Club actually has a lot of trees because we're getting into a little more Minnesota true vibe there. So those are 3 great options for golfing during the few months of the year that we can golf. Of course, you're going to want to schedule your times to get out there because they fill up very quick, because we don't get to golf that frequently. We got about 4 months of the year that we can be out on the course. So you're going to want to call or schedule it online to make sure you get your tee time. The last thing I really want to discuss is Moorhead has a variety of restaurants and bars. A lot of those are family, or all of them really, most of them are family friendly. There's some newer development on the south side of town. So back down this Highway 75, like I said, going south. Of course, there's a lot of older buildings and stuff down here at Main Avenue on the norther side. And then coming this way, we've got more development with newer restaurants. The grocery store, Hornbacher's, that's a good one locally. But then moving this way, we run into Legends Sports Bar and Grill. That is the same owners as Murphy's, which is just a little ways up here. It's not showing up for some reason. Murphy's is located here, and then the Legends Sports Bar and Grill is down here. Both of those have the same owner, and they're really great because they're both sports bars and they both have areas inside that are specifically for kids. So they have toys and coloring and all this stuff. So if you are a young family and you want to go out and watch a game or even just get together with some friends, they have great food. And then they also have a spot where the kids actually want to go and play. So those are some good options. Another good option coming down in Moorhead is, and again, some of these just aren't popping up, but this is the Hen House here. Oh, it does when I click it. There you go. So the Hen House is going to be similar. It is a bar and restaurant. They don't have the kids stuff at that one specifically, but it is still great food and a great atmosphere. And then moving down a little farther to the north, we will find Highway 10. A lot of restaurants are along Highway 10 as well. We'll have Chipotle and Starbucks over there. I mean, there's 4 Starbucks in Moorhead now. So we have plenty of coffee for you with Caribou and Starbucks in Moorhead. 2 Caribous, 4 Starbucks. But there are some other restaurants here on Highway 10. Okay, so out on Highway 10, we have a few more restaurants. We have the Moorhead Frying Pan. We've got Chipotle, Arby's, McDonald's, Subway, those fast food restaurants. And then we've got a couple Starbucks in this area as well. And like, let's see, there is another restaurant. I know there's Buffalo Wild Wings, and then Midtown Grill is somewhere around here. So we have a lot of options for restaurants. I didn't name all of them, of course, throughout the city of Moorhead. Those were just kind of the more popular areas, I would say. But one thing we don't really have on the Moorhead side of the river is very good shopping. People will generally go over to the North Dakota side of the river for shopping for apparel or household items or whatever it may be. They just have better shopping over on the North Dakota side of the river, which truly is kind of a bummer because Moorhead, being in the state of Minnesota, does not have taxes on apparel. So that would be nice if there were more options for apparel in the city of Moorhead. There is a few places, but just not as many as you're going to find if you go into Fargo. So really, Moorhead has a small town appeal, and there's a reasonable cost of living, stable property values, and excellent schools and neighborhoods. It's seamlessly connected to Fargo and other surrounding cities for quick access to a busier or more fast pace of living without being right in your backyard. So Moorhead has a lot to offer. So I hope all of that made sense. I don't do so good with trying to look at the computer and do this at the same time. So I'm going to do another one of these where I'm actually out and about in the community I can explain things about Moorhead a little bit more to you that way. But thank you for watching, and please leave any questions or comments you have in the comments section. Make sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date on all things Fargo, Moorhead, and the surrounding areas. On the next episode, we will take a deeper look inside the neighborhoods in Moorhead, Minnesota, for a chance for you to really find the perfect fit for if your future home were to be in this area. I will see you on the next one.